Hi, Rich First Time DM, back for another walk around my neighborhood. As you can tell, I've got my winter gear back on because it's in the low 30s today, even though it was mid 50s yesterday, springtime, and I'll be in the 60s within a week. Crazy Connecticut weather. Anyways, today's topic is magic items. Wobble Rocket sent out his weekly newsletter this morning. Links to that will be in the description. Sign up, you get some good information plus some discounts on some items. This week's mentioned a post from Dicefunctional on BlueSky asking how we handled giving out power items too early to players and how we managed the power level. So I missed the post initially, but so I figured I'd talk about that today. So, as I've mentioned before, I hand out magic items like candy. My players are super OP, but I try my best to balance the encounters. The way I look at it is, I want my players to have fun, and there's nothing more fun than a lot of magic items that make you super powerful at a very early level. So when it comes to the normal magic items going up through very rare, I try to hand those out maybe a little ahead of schedule, but occasionally we'll give out a rare or very rare item too early, but most of those will have attunement. So at least the attunement mechanic within 5e helps minimize the power level. There's only so much they can do when they only have 3 slots. Or 4 if they're using a Mystic Conflux feat that comes with critical rolls bulks. But yeah, so I give those out. Consumables, they might get a legendary consumable such as a potion of giant strength or something early, but it'll be a one and done, and it will be very specific for a specific adventure they're on, that it might be needed to succeed or give them an option to succeed in the adventure. So yeah, magic items can really mess up your game, especially as a DM. And it's definitely something you have to account for. But like I said, I give them out. Yeah, I just randomly give them out. I have given out the deck of many things. Players were higher levels. I think they were like 9 or 10 when they found it. However, it went to the least chaotic player at the table, both as a character and as a player. So that kind of worked out. Thankfully, he found it. Well, his character found it rather than the chaotic bard. It was the person who had the highest investigation check for searching through a dragon's hoard, and thankfully the celestial warlock found it and not the undead bard. Yeah, that could have ruined my game. So he's gotten it, never used it. They haven't pulled a card from it yet. But what can really mess up your game is giving a legendary item to a party before level 15. Legendary items are very powerful for a reason. They require attunement for a reason. They are really game-breaking, world-breaking items. Or can be, depending upon the item. Level 13 probably the earliest. However, I use something. I have a mechanic built into my homebrew, into my game, that I kind of stole from the latest Dungeons and Dragons movie, when the sorcerer was basically trying to attune to an item. So, how it works is, while the player is trying to attune to the item, while they're alone, they're focusing on the item, I use this moment for a bit of role play. So, while they're attuning to the item, a vision appears. And it is of the last character, the last NPC who had the item. So this allows me to actually build up my world by creating these legendary NPCs as well. Plus areas of interest that, they might have been involved in. Because how did they lose the legendary item? Chances are they lost it in a battle when they died, more than likely. I had one that one of my players came across that was sold by his family members when he died to pay off gambling debts. So it allows me to create roleplay moments. So it's not just they go to sleep and wake up and they're attuned. Really nice. This, they have to work for it. So they try it on. The vision appears. And we have a discussion. The NPC tells them who they are and gives them a little bit of lore dump. And then you start to ask how the player is worthy to wear this legendary item. So after a bit more roleplay, the player will make a roll. The DC is based upon their level. Level 0 to 9, the DC is 30. 10 to 14, the DC is 25. 15 and higher, the DC is 20. The roll is a skill check based off of the ability score that the item uses. So strength for strength-based items, dex for dex, etc. So at best, the player's going to have a +5 or a +6. It's a straight dex roll or a straight strength roll or a straight wisdom roll. So if they have a 20 ability score, they get a +5. If they found a manual of something, quickness of action, etc., they'll be at a +6. So they make the roll. So as you can tell by the math, if you're 0 to 9, before level 10, you need a DC 30. Best you can do is a 26, unless you're really handing out something crazy. So it's impossible for a player before level 10 to even attune to one. So at least it limits that to where they're in beginning higher levels of play. Level 5 character can't attune to a Holy Avenger. Not going to happen. So even if I give it to them, if they find it, they can't use it. When they get to level 10 to 14, DC 25, there's a chance. And the reason why there's a chance is they would need a nat 20. And if you do roll a nat 20 for me during any skill check, it deducts 2 from the DC of the check. So if they don't have a +5 or +6, they can still get it. But it would still require a roll, basically a nat 20 roll. So, it's possible, but they need to roll, 18s and above probably. And of course, when it gets up to the higher levels, almost any of them should be able to attune with a good roll. And I also have another rule that they're only allowed to roleplay this way once every 7 days in a world. Can they try to attune to the item? So it stops them from spamming it every long rest. It makes them have to work on it, making them earn it. Get to the higher level first. I do love how it brings in the roleplay. If they fail, that brings good roleplay from the previous NPC that owned it. If they succeed, they congratulate them. Let me get across the street here. I got some cars coming. So, like I said, it does minimize the truly powerful items from being used. My players tend to like this mechanic. They liked it. They've liked it so far. They've done it a couple of times. Each of them, I think, have tried to attune to an item. Maybe a couple of them haven't yet. I can't remember exactly. One guy got a couple of them, but it's a nice little thing, and I will post the actual rules down in my description. So that's how I handle Legendary Attunement. How do you guys handle magic items, power levels for your players? Do you do something similar to what I do? Do you do something different? Please, let me know in the comments. Be sure to check out Wobble Rocket on BlueSky and his newsletter, as well as Dicefunctional. Dicefunctional is always prompting us with questions to all the DMs out there, and they're definitely worth a follow. You know, learn some good things and see how other people handle situations in their games. As always, like and subscribe. I appreciate all the subscribers. Keep doing it. Keep sharing these videos. Comment below with other topics you want to see me talk about, whether it's DM topics, players topics, or even board games. I'm thinking about doing some board game topics on these walks too. So that would be great. I want to do videos that people want to watch. So if you want to see me talk about something, let me know. Well, I'm going to call it a walk here in a minute. So I appreciate all of you. Please continue to love each other, accept each other, and be nice to each other. Have a good day.